Namaste and welcome. I'm Pratim Ranjan Bose and you are watching my podcast Perspective. In this episode, I'll discuss why the confusing trends in urban consumption are actually not so confusing. There has been a lot of media hype in recent weeks about the slowdown in demand in urban centers vis-a-vis demand growth in rural India. Nestle India chief made headlines by his quote unquote shrinking middle class remarks. The primary trigger is decline in net profit of the corporate sector in September 2024 quarter. According to CMIE, of the 864 listed companies they have tracked so far, the net profit has shrunk by nearly 7%. CMIE tracks roughly 4,500 companies. So we will get a comprehensive picture as and when all companies will declare results. In the absence of comprehensive data, hypothesis is drawn on peripheral evidences. The general opinion is demand is rising for premium products like premium real estate priced above rupees 1 crore, high-priced cars, etc., but not for the volume products like small cars, below rupees 50 lakh apartments, low-priced smartphones, etc. For long, foreign companies built their India strategy surrounding the middle class formula. Whenever sales belie their expectation, they pass the buck on the middle class. They did it during the last boom. Nestle did it a bit early this time. The rest is work of the high-paid peer experts. They spin out theories in no time. I strongly believe that the shrinking middle class theory is one such hasty peer work. I am not denying drop in sales of some products. That is undeniable. But just converting company sales figures into consumer sentiments is flawed. Rama Bijapurkar had pointed it out in an opinion piece titled, quote, "Don't confuse sales data with consumer trends," in Business Standard on October 29. Let me give you a couple of specific examples of miscalculation. My tax consultant, a 28-year-old kid, came jumping the other day. He purchased a refurbished Mercedes at rupees 7.5 lakhs on loan finance. He wants to show off. He is not alone. Check the internet. Pre-owned vehicle sales are booming. People are buying big SUVs for the price of a small car. Yes, they are buying for snob value. But isn't snob value the primary reason behind owning an Apple? India is full of video creators and YouTubers. Every other neighborhood boy or girl is a YouTuber and a food blogger. Which phones are they using? Why second-hand phone sales are zooming? Is it only to get the cheaper phones at an even cheaper price? Or is it an attempt to acquire better brands at lower cost? You are talking about less demand for below 50 lakh apartments. Have you checked the inventory of such flats and the return on investment? During the last boom, Indian middle class went out to purchase apartments as a form of investment. Every friend of mine owns more than one property. They are purchased on EMI. The rental earnings are not even half of the EMI in Kolkata. Some of my friends in Mumbai sold off their property, which are purchased before the boom at a high premium. They are now living in the same society on rent and making net savings. Calculations are same everywhere. For the middle class, it is financially wiser to live in rented apartments than owning a house. That's not all. In how many cities you will now get a quality apartment at below rupees 50 lakh? Not even in Kolkata. But the consumer preference has changed. Our generation has grew up in two-room apartments. Today's generation wants more space. They prefer living in a big rented apartment at a fraction of cost of owning them. There is another factor. South India and West Bengal are witnessing very low fertility rates in the range of 1.6, 1.6, 1.7. All these states will soon hit a declining population phase. It is time we pay more attention to state-wise or region-wise consumption details than just putting everything up as a national figure. Population of Kolkata started shrinking from 2011 census. The next census is yet to be out. We will know what happened in between, but we are certain that the total fertility rate, urban fertility rate, was barely 1.4 in West Bengal, and in Kolkata it is estimated to be around 1 or 1.1, which means it is time population will shrink at a very high pace. That being so, the age mix of the city has gone up, and old men are bound to have different consumption preferences. Bengali middle class is going on foreign tours like never before. You can see this, or rather sense this, from the mushrooming of YouTube channels, Bengali YouTube channels on foreign visits. With younger generation pursuing career in other parts of the country or the world, small families became even smaller. The older generation in Kolkata is in no mood to buy new property. They are selling some to consolidate wealth. It means the inventory or availability of properties in Kolkata is rising, and generally an old property will sell at a lesser cost than the new one. So the pressure will always be on the new one. The changing consumption trend is reflecting in a shift to premium cars. Barely 15 years ago, Kolkata was a city of small cars. I personally drove Maruti 800 for 8 years. Today, mid-sized hatchbacks or sedans and SUVs are ruling the streets. Why complain about lack of demand for small cars? Celebrate it. Finally, the global uncertainty, high interest rates, and technology transition are delaying new purchases. Let me share with you some of my personal thoughts. Should I change my petrol car to an EV or wait a few more years? When will RBI cut interest rates? What if the Israel-Iran conflict becomes a full-blown war? Let's wait for a few months. Don't forget that today's consumers are more educated and informed than they were 15 years ago. Saw my cigarette seller watching a TV clip on his mobile the other day. The clip was on the US election. Thank you for watching Perspective. If you like this episode, please share and subscribe. फिर मिलेंगे.